Jack Whittaker won $314 million on Christmas morning, 2002, biggest single ticket in American history at the time. 4 years later, he told a reporter he wished he had torn it up. By then, his granddaughter was dead. Thieves had emptied his car twice, once for more than $500,000 in cash he was driving around with. Lawyers had filed hundreds of suits against him, and Whittaker was already a millionaire before he bought that ticket. He ran a construction company with 100 employees. He understood money. So, what did the wind break? You are never going to win the lottery. I know. Give me 30 seconds anyway, because whatever took Whittaker apart is not rare, and it does not need 9 figures to run. It runs on a bonus, on an inheritance from a grandmother you loved, on a raise you waited 3 years for. On the first month, your side business finally clears real money. Anytime money shows up faster than you built the person who earns it, this starts. And there is data on how it ends. 3 economists pulled the bankruptcy records of every large lottery winner in Florida across 9 years, then compared them against people who had won small prizes in the same lottery. The large prizes ran from $50,000 to $150,000, enough to erase the average American household's consumer debt several times over. The big winners went bankrupt at the same rate as the small winners. The money did not prevent the collapse. It moved it back by about 2 years. $150,000 bought 2 years, and then the same ending arrived on schedule, which tells you the problem was never the amount. Michael Carroll was 19, working as a bin man in England, when he won £9.7 million in 2002. He bought a mansion and turned the garden into a banger racing track. Gold chains, cars he wrote off. The British press called him the lotto lout and followed him for years. By 2010, he was bankrupt. He went back to work, a biscuit factory, then delivering coal. Different country, different age, 30 times less money than Whittaker. Same ending. 2 men with nothing in common except one thing. Money arrived faster than they could become someone who keeps it. Go back to Whittaker for a second. He ran a construction company, 100 employees, payroll every month, contracts, bids, margins. He had been handling money his whole adult life, and 4 years later, it was gone. So competence was not the thing he was missing. Money skill is 2 skills that look like one from the outside. There is the half that earns. Reading a market, pricing your work, getting up at 5 for 20 years. Whittaker had all of it. It built him a company. Then there is the half that holds turning people down, leaving money alone, staying the same person after the number on the screen changes. You can spend 30 years getting excellent at the first half. Nothing in those 30 years tests the second. Running a construction crew never asks you to say no to your own brother. This is not a lottery problem. The surgeon, the athlete, the founder who sells at 34. Every one of them is world-class at earning and a beginner at holding. And the people who do keep sudden money are rarely the smartest ones in the story. They are the ones who spent years being told they could not have something. That is practice. It never feels like it while it is happening. Your account balance can change in a single afternoon. You cannot. Everything that actually keeps money is a skill. Knowing what a fair price looks like. Sitting still while an investment does nothing for 2 years. Telling a friend no without rehearsing it for a week. Skills take years to build. The deposit takes 1 second. So for a while, you are a person with a wealthy account and a broke operating system. You still shop the way you did. You still panic the way you did. You just do it with 3 more zeros attached. That gap between the balance and the skills is where most of it goes, and your brain makes it worse in a way you can measure. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It is closer to a prediction system. Your dopamine neurons fire hardest when something turns out better than you expected, not when you get something good, when you get something better than forecast. The size of the response tracks the size of the surprise, which means the single biggest hit you will ever get from that money is the moment you find out about it. After that, there is no surprise left. The money is now the forecast. Owning it produces almost nothing because your brain has already priced it in. So you go looking for the feeling again. A car, a watch, a holiday. Each one works briefly, then gets absorbed into the new normal and stops paying out. You're not chasing things. You're chasing a gap between expectation and reality that keeps closing behind you. In 1978, researchers tracked down lottery winners and interviewed them alongside people who had recently been paralyzed in accidents. The winners were not measurably happier than an ordinary control group. They also rated everyday pleasures, coffee, talking to a friend, television, as noticeably less enjoyable than the control group did. It is a small study, 22 winners, and popular articles have been overstating it for 40 years. But the core effect has held up since. Whatever you have becomes normal, fast, fast. The new car is a new car for about 6 weeks, then it is a car. Your baseline climbs, your spending climbs with it, your satisfaction returns to exactly where it started. And now it costs 4 times as much to stay there. Money also changes how people look at you, and it happens fast. Whittaker was sued hundreds of times. Strangers wrote him letters. Relatives he had barely spoken to called with businesses that needed funding. You will get a smaller version of the same thing. A brother who needs help, a friend with an opportunity, a colleague who suddenly remembers your name. Almost none of them are villains, and that is what makes this hard. They are people you love, asking for something you can genuinely afford. You have never once practiced saying no to that. Why would you? Until the money arrived, the question never came up. So you say yes, and then you keep saying yes long after you can afford it, because saying no now would mean admitting the earlier yeses were a mistake. Underneath all 4 sits the same thing. Money that arrives without a system attached leaves through whatever holes were already in your life. It does not create new problems. It funds the old ones at a bigger scale. If you avoided looking at your balance before, more money means more avoiding. If you spent to fix your mood before, more money means more mood fixing at a higher price. Willpower does not close those holes. Willpower is what runs out at 11 at night when you are tired and the checkout button is right there. 5 things. They work on $300 million and they work on a $2,000 bonus. 1. Freeze it. When money arrives, it goes somewhere boring and untouched for 90 days. You are not saving it. You are refusing to make decisions while your judgment is chemically compromised. And right after a windfall, it is. 2. Turn the lump into a wage. Pick a monthly number and pay it to yourself from that account. Your brain handles income well. It has years of practice. It handles piles badly. 3. Write your no before you need it. 1 sentence, decided in advance for the brother and the friend and the opportunity. Something like, I've already committed everything for this year. Say it out loud a few times now, while it costs you nothing. 4. Change 1 thing, not the car and the flat and the holiday. 1. Then wait 6 months and see whether you still want the second thing. Usually you will not. 5. Tell almost nobody. Every person who knows is a person who can ask. Whittaker's win was on the front page. Yours does not have to be. Whittaker died in 2020. In one of his last interviews, he said he had been happier before the ticket. He did not lose that money because he was stupid. $314 million landed in the hands of a man who had spent 30 years building a life around a much smaller number. And nobody hands you a new life to go with the new one. You have to build that part yourself. Ideally before the money turns up. 7 of these traps run quietly in almost everybody, and sudden money just turns the volume up on all of them. I put together a workbook that walks through each one and what to do about it. Link in the description. The free money brain map is down there too, if you want to start with that.